I'm a gamer, not because I don't have a life, but because I choose to have many of waifus. Can I really call myself a gacha gamer if I've only played these games? So to alleviate that issue, I'm going to play the biggest gacha game on the market right now. Alright, it's time to look up what the largest gacha game is. So let's just look up gacha revenue. So let's ignore that number one real quick. Love in Deep Space. What's Love in Deep Space?
The best hunter often appears as prey.
But your phone is facing me. Not happy with just a peek?
Think I'm a monster. I'll keep that in mind. The path is treacherous.
Oh no, it's this game. Welp, looks like it's time to go undercover. So what is Love in Deep Space? Love in Deep Space is, according to Reddit, the first otome action RPG gacha game developed by Info Games, who also made... Oh no. That aside, I downloaded the game and will now play it and give my 100% objective opinion on it. So starting off, the game is only available on mobile, so to play it on PC I have to use an emulator. When you first boot up the game, you are instantly greeted with some nice eye candy. Click play, and the first thing you get to do is customize your personal character from a pretty good range of options. Once you are done customizing your character, the game throws you into the story right away. So, let's talk about the story. So I played up to around chapter 4, but I also watched chapter 5 and 6 on YouTube. Now, from what I saw, the story is actually pretty enjoyable, and I enjoyed it a lot more than some other stories. Now, to be 100% honest with you, I don't quite understand all the details about the story, but from what I gathered, the story takes place in the future and you are a rookie hunter tasked to fight off wanderers in Lincoln City. And along the way, you get to interact with the various male leads of the game, Xavier, Zane, Raphael, Caleb, and I guess Silas, even though I haven't met him in the story yet. Now, if you have no idea what I just said, that makes a lot of sense because the game from the beginning throws a bunch of jargon at you, although it isn't that big of a deal because, to be honest, most of the words are interchangeable with some really other basic words. Now, there is no skip button, although there is a button to change the speed of the story, which is better than nothing. And yeah, while I was doing the story, I found that it was actually pretty well animated, at least compared to other gacha games, even if it is only in vertical. This helps me keep my attention throughout the story, although, to be honest, there's no way a gacha game will be able to keep me from falling asleep in the story. However, the main story is only a small piece of the pie. The game deals with a lot of alternative timeline type of stuff, so a huge selling point of the game are the different storylines involving alternate versions of each character. Overall, I think that the narrative of this game is actually pretty good, and that the concept is quite nice compared to the other gacha games that I've tried out. But how can you talk about a gacha game without talking about... Now, the gacha system seems to follow the rules that a lot of the new games that come out recently have. We have a beginner banner where each 10 pull is cheaper, and at only 50 pulls you can guarantee yourself a 5-star of the character of your desires. You've got your classic standard banner, which at 70 pity you are guaranteed 1 5-star. And then you have the limited banner, which has the rate up units you probably want, but this also has the dreaded 50-50 system. Although it does seem that wishing on this banner does net you some bonus items as well. Now, at a glance, this gacha system doesn't seem too much different from a game like Genshin Impact or HSR, and I can't confidently say if this game is much more generous than those games because I haven't been able to play for long enough to gauge how much currency that I'm able to get as a free-to-play player. However, from the research that I've done, I think that this game doesn't seem to be very FTP friendly, as players seem to be pretty overall dissatisfied with the free full income. Now, I think that one aspect of this gacha system that I quite like, and I think that is underrated, is how well integrated it is with the lore of Love and Deep Space. 5-star units are, from my knowledge, memories of one of the male leads from another timeline, which I think is a nice touch and adds to the overall immersion of the game. In other games such as Genshin and HSR, the pulling animation thematically makes sense, but nothing else about it does within the overall narrative of the game. Not only that, but obtaining new 5-star memories of a character also unlocks new stories of said character, which I think gives you more incentive to pull for the characters that you like. So overall, I don't think your gacha system is anything to write home about, it's just your classic 50-50 system. Now you are pulling for new characters, and I did say earlier in the video that this was an ultimate action RPG gacha game, so I think it is now a good time to talk about... Now let's get it out the way. This ain't no Punishing Gray Raven. This ain't no Wuthering Waves. The combat is quite simple, and from what I experienced, doesn't have too much mechanical depth to it. You don't really have that many buttons you need to press, and the enemies, from my experience, were pretty linear. That being said, however, I still thought it was quite enjoyable during the times that I experienced it while completing the main storyline of the game. Oh yeah, I forgot this was a gacha game, so there is a stamina system, so I guess I will just mention it real quick. You have to level up, and I guess build your memories, and to do so, you have to spend stamina, which is probably where the infinite grind for the game comes in. But remember, I haven't played this game nearly long enough to get to this stage of the game yet, so take this statement with a huge bucket of salt. Now, if you are a person looking for a game with good, exciting combat, I probably would not recommend this game. But I am willing to bet that if you are indeed playing this game, you probably aren't playing it for the combat. And look, I even have witness testimonies to back it up. You are probably playing it for... The real reason why you are playing this game is the men and what you can do with them. There are a bunch of different activities you can do with one of the 5 male characters. There are things such as the photo booth, boyfriend ASMR, relaxing time, claw game, cat cup minigame, and just so many more that I have not mentioned. All of these activities help you develop your bond with your man, and they add more immersion to the game and make you feel more connected to them, which is what this game does the best. These features are the reasons why people play this game, and it is the reason why this game performs as well as it does. So my final conclusion is that this game is actually pretty good, and the things that it's trying to do and achieve, it does pretty well. That being said, am I still going to play this game? Well, maybe until the end of June.